Rockstar Games has released over 70 official screenshots of Grand Theft Auto 6. In this video, we're going to continue analyzing the other half we didn't cover in the previous one. You can check out that first part by clicking the tag in the top right corner, or just wait until the end of this video and it'll pop up on screen. Honestly, the order doesn't really matter. What's important is uncovering everything hidden within these GTA 6 images. And in this second half, things get really interesting. Among all the screenshots we still have to go through, there are some incredible features you wouldn't expect to see, along with many key locations subtly hidden in the background scenery. The Central Airport, one of the possible military bases in the game, though we'll leave that part for the very end of the video. We begin with the protagonist, and in this image we can see her training inside a gym that's quite different from the classic Beast gym shown in trailer 2 or the ones we're used to in GTA 5. GTA 6 will feature a wider variety of gyms, and as we can see in the background, they'll include a larger range of workout machines. This marks a return to an exercise system we haven't seen this fleshed out since GTA San Andreas, where some gyms even had areas dedicated to boxing. Similarly, we can see the return of this sport in GTA 6, and although we don't actually see a full boxing match, the fact that Lucia is hitting the punching bag, and especially her necklace, makes it pretty likely that this type of training will be back in GTA 6 as part of the gameplay. One thing we've seen in several images is the use of headphones. Whether they're working out or relaxing by the pool, characters will be able to wear headphones to keep listening to music when they're not in a car. This likely means the radio and streaming system will be very detailed, not just with the usual radio stations, but maybe even with a Spotify-style app to let us play each song individually from the in-game soundtrack. But we'll talk more about apps a bit later, because first we need to go over some of the most striking details in this image. Like Jason, who we can see hanging out in the background during this pool day, or the realism of the drink and the impressive detail of the liquids. The towel's texture is also incredibly lifelike, showing every tiny fiber, and it's reflected in the character's sunglasses, demonstrating the power of the new reflections tech. It not only reflects the environment and characters in real time, but even minor objects like this. On top of the towel, we see Lucia's phone. The fact that she left it out of the pool might be a realistic touch to avoid water damage, or it could simply be part of the beginning or end of a mission, where small details like this are often more curated. I'd lean toward the second option, since it's unlikely the game would make us replace our phone every time we forget to take it out before jumping in the water. In any case, this phone shows some interesting details since its screen is on and we can see a few apps that clearly resemble their real-life counterparts. There's an obvious parody of the WhatsApp logo, likely corresponding to the WhatsApp app we saw back in the 2022 leaks, unless Rockstar decided to change its name over the past 2 years. This would be the app we'll use to chat with other characters via text messages. We can also recognize the classic Contacts app, and to the right there appears to be a parody of YouTube, given the red logo with a white rectangle and a central icon that might be a play button or something video related. On the bottom left corner of the phone, there's a clear parody of Instagram. This could very well be an evolved version of Snapmatic, which would definitely be the best candidate for Rockstar to use as a stand-in for that social media platform. We can also see these social media platforms in action in other images, like this one, which appears to show a parody of TikTok, and of course it gives us a glimpse into the impressive level of detail these apps will have in-game. They'll be practically functional applications, complete with comment sections, navigation menus, and the content characters just recorded, all of it naturally walking that very thin legal line between parody and plagiarism. The same thing happens with vehicles. The parody level of GTA 6's cars is now closer than ever to the real world. This new Obey, for example, is looking more and more like a true Audi at heart. Looking at the background, I just want to point out those lights hanging on a balcony. They caught my eye because they might be seasonal Christmas decorations that show up dynamically as the holidays approach. Or they could be custom decorations appearing in random windows to make the city feel more personalized. This image was taken in the parking lot of Jack of Hearts, the shoe store we already know from the 2022 leaks as the game's official shoe store. And it won't be the only one. We'll be able to find more modest shoe stores in other towns. These will be less flashy but offer more open services. On this sign we can read that one of the nights is dedicated to male dancers. Let's call them that to stay on the safe side of the algorithm censors. Considering one of the main characters is a woman, it was clear there had to be some way to access shows of this kind, which until now had only been seen from one perspective in the series. And in this venue at least, they'll dedicate the night to performances featuring guys instead of girls. Of course, you should go ahead and send this video to that friend, you know, the one who's either going to love this or is definitely planning to show up on that very night. On another note, this unisex shoe store is located in Port Gellhorn, an area where magical substances have devastated the population. You'll find poor folks out in the streets pushing shopping carts with everything they have left in life, and of course, shady deals happening behind the vice-filled, morally questionable back doors of the city's seediest spot. The trafficking and production of magical substances will play a key role in Port Gellhorn, making it a major setting for an important part of the story, located on the opposite side of the map. Apparently, the mechanics for crafting, producing, and selling these products will be on another level. Not to mention, Rockstar already has an advantage since a significant part of GTA Online's storyline has focused on this theme. What remains to be seen is how developed this will be in free roam mode and whether the game will allow us to create and manage some kind of drug-related business of our own. These magical substances won't just ruin Port Gellhorn, they'll also affect some neighborhoods in Vice City where we'll find people completely strung out lying on the street, sometimes even with their pets by their side. This shot once again shows the extravagant vehicle customization we first saw introduced in GTA Online, including some very strange vehicle types never before seen in the series. Bikers will be able to ride with or without helmets and might even perform stunts in groups, especially if they belong to a gang from one of the rougher neighborhoods. On the street columns in this scene, we can read the word Pearly, the same word that appears on the chest of one of the gang members during the handshake scene from Trailer 1, which we analyzed in the previous video. It's possible that Pearl is the nickname of that character in the neighborhood, or maybe even the name of the gang he belongs to. Along the coast of Vice City and the Keys, we'll be able to see a wide variety of boats that spawn as full scenarios surrounded by beachgoers engaging in different activities. Some will be floating on inflatables, others will climb aboard just to jump into the water, throw spontaneous parties, sunbathe on the yacht, or simply sit and chat while enjoying the view. These complex ambient themes will appear frequently and will add a lot of realism to the life of NPCs in the game's marine environment. In these areas, we'll also see a large number of new water-related props spawned around. Inflatable mattresses shaped like animals, drinks, beach balls, bags, towels, and flotation rings scattered everywhere. Plus, there will be a wide variety of boats, larger, smaller, modest, and luxurious. As a small detail, you can notice how realistically the water vibrates around the engines. Looking closer at this area, we can even spot a large creature swimming under the surface. Some people have said it's a shark, but based on its rounded head, I dare to say it's actually an orca. Of course, if there's a marine biologist watching this, feel free to let us know in the comments. I'd like to go back for a second to the objects on the boat because I left one out on purpose to connect it with the next image. Those diving goggles we can see on one of the boats in the background. We know that diving will once again be an activity in the game and it'll be more developed than ever. NPCs themselves will be able to dive and we'll encounter them underwater, not just the protagonists like in previous games. These characters will be fully equipped with wetsuits, flippers, masks, and oxygen tanks. Aside from that, this image is one of the most spectacular ones published so far because it shows the incredible evolution of the underwater world since the last installment. The vegetation will be unique and highly diverse, featuring extremely lush environments, and the same goes for marine life. Schools of fish, eels, and even sea turtles can be spotted in this picture, showing just a small part of the variety of animals that will inhabit the depths of Leonida. On the surface, wildlife will also dominate much of the state. Predators will hunt more defenseless animals, not just the player, continuing the legacy of the wild ecosystem introduced in Red Dead Redemption 2. Just like in our own world, humans will be part of this circle of predators and prey. This time with the addition of NPC hunters who will roam the wilderness in search of animals to shoot. Hunting seems to be developed at a very high level, and judging by this guy's shirt, we'll be able to find a store called White Wolf where we can buy hunting supplies. The shirt itself even says tools and knives. Weapons also appear more tailored to this type of activity, with bolt-action rifles designed specifically for hunting instead of the usual war-grade sniper rifles we typically use during main story missions. This clearly confirms the wide range of weapons that will be available in the game. To wrap up with this shot, we have to highlight the density of the game's forests. How the tall grass covers everything and trees are packed in everywhere. The wildlife is also very diverse, showcasing small animals you might not even notice at first glance, like the squirrel clinging to the tree, or more subtly in the background, the woodpecker pecking away at the trunk. These animals will also cross our path. In this image, we can see what looks like an orange raccoon sneaking into a motocross race. What really catches my attention here is the massive, seemingly abandoned industrial structure in the background. It looks fully explorable, at least judging by the visible ramps, interior walkways, staircases, and platforms. Everything suggests we'll be able to navigate the entire building. As for the main scene, we can observe that the mud appears to behave with the same physical properties as the sand shown in the trailer or the snow in Red Dead Redemption 2, featuring deep deformation that leaves a realistic trail wherever the bike has passed. We'll also see mud splashing up into the air, realistically staining the vehicle. The attention to detail is remarkable. Everything from the terrain to how it interacts with the characters and vehicles looks incredibly polished and dynamic. Speaking of mud, we have to mention the Mud Club, this strange group of people we first met in Trailer 1. They parody a real-life subculture and basically spend their time having fun in Leonida's muddy fields with monster trucks, mud wrestling, or simply setting up camp and drinking. These gatherings around the campfire could make use of the camp and gang system we saw in Red Dead Redemption 2, allowing us to enjoy a unique moment of relaxation and maybe even some songs by the fire. Nearby we can spot a new beer brand called Drake or something similar, but the most interesting part of this image is how the heat rising from the fire distorts the view in an extremely realistic way. It's a subtle detail, but one that really shows off the game's visual fidelity. fire outside of campfires will also play an important role. In some images, it looks like we're being shown wildfires, although I should clarify that we don't actually see any fire in forests or hills. These more natural looking fires appear over crop fields, which could be tied to a mission similar to those in San Andreas or Red Dead Redemption 2, or perhaps be part of random world events where we have to help extinguish a plantation fire. In any case, the fire and smoke create a stunning landscape under the sunrise. But if I had to pick one standout landscape from these images, it would be this one right here. The canyons found in Mount Calaga are absolutely spectacular. The natural areas of the map won't be dry or boring, roads will be busy, and we'll even come across special convoys escorted by police. One very interesting element in this image is what's hidden behind the morning haze on the left side of the horizon. You can make out some large rectangular structures that must be massive given the distance. The most likely theory is that these are hangars, possibly part of an airport in the northern region of the map, or maybe even a military base, which would make sense for such a remote and secluded location. One confirmed airport will be Vice City International Airport, where we'll also find the city's iconic Hollywood-style sign. Judging by the plane's position, it seems the sign is placed outside the airport and at the start of one of the runways. We'll get a much better look at the airport in a later image near the end of the video. Based on the plane's shape, it appears we're looking at a new version of the Luxor, the private jet from GTA 5. This time it seems to be far more detailed, featuring a large number of components and sensors on its fuselage. Helicopters also show a noticeable visual upgrade. In this case, we see a news chopper from Weasel News with a camera operator standing at the back filming live. From the first trailer, it was clear that news coverage will play a major role in the game, highlighting events happening around the world. This helicopter might become an additional threat during police chases, following us to broadcast our escape and potentially giving away our location even if we've lost the cops. Though for now, it remains a mystery how the media will impact our gameplay. In this image of Ambrosia, we can see what community mappers believe to be the Great Lake Leonida. Specifically, we'd be standing on the lake's western shore looking southwest, and we can see how the waters are swampy, just like the entire southern portion of the map. Interestingly, Lake Leonida is located in the center of the map, which means the swamp biome might cover the entire lower half of the map, stretching from Grass Ravers to Lake Leonida. The geographical information provided by this image is incredibly valuable. Those massive buildings visible in the far left background are part of Vice City's International Airport, which we previously saw in the image with the Vice City sign, as well as in the shot from the Keys that showed the control tower in the distance. The bridge on the right would be the Port Gellhorn Bridge. To give you a better idea, this is the exact viewing angle this image corresponds to on the community-made GTA 6 map. The city of Ambrosia will be holding elections at some point, although we don't know whether this will occur during a specific part of the story or as a random in-game event. We can see that one of the candidates is Aaron Henshaw, who might play a role in the story. After all, it wouldn't be the first time Rockstar incorporates politics into a game subplot. The other known candidate is Andrew Bode, whose name appeared on a bumper sticker on the back of a car in the first trailer. Biker gangs will expand, now appearing in groups of at least 8 members. The variety is so extensive that in this single image we can already spot 6 different motorcycle models, 2 of which are technically the same bike but customized so differently they appear entirely unique. The large mountain in the background may be Mount Calaga, one of the few mountainous regions in what will otherwise be a mostly flat map. This mountain scene is packed with information. We can see 2 types of vehicles, one being the train that, let's be honest, everyone will try to stop during their first 24 hours in the game. The other is a kayak joining what appears to be an extensive catalog of watercraft in GTA 6. We've known for some time that GTA 6 will feature a highly advanced weather system. There were even talks of tornadoes at one point, but this image may be confirming the presence of flooding in the game. The depth gauge near the riverbank likely isn't just for show. It could actually play a functional role when torrential rains cause water levels to rise dramatically. The idea that Rockstar would design a system this complex is already impressive, but what intrigues me most is what will happen to all the vegetation along the riverbanks. Will it simply remain underwater in a static, unrealistic way? Or could Rockstar be developing a dynamic system where the water actually drags vegetation and debris away from the shoreline? Unfortunately, we've run out of time, and it's a shame because at least 15 of the best screenshots from the game are still left to cover. Among them, there are some major clues hinting at a mysterious extra state on the map and parts of the story that might not be what everyone expected. Very soon, you'll be able to watch the third and final part of this analysis covering all 70 GTA 6 screenshots. I won't ask you to like or subscribe, but it's true that a little motivation could give me the energy to finish the video sooner than you might expect. And don't forget to leave a comment if you think I missed something important.